So anyway, I used to work in a big corporation. We didn't talk about communities. We would talk about consumers, end users, customers. We might even have focus groups, but we did not talk about communities ever. Now in gaming, we do talk about communities. So we have community managers. That's ours on the right, called Tero. So it makes sense. We do have communities, but we're also a startup. I'm good. So we're also a startup. We're not just a gaming company. And startups don't have communities, but they have fans. And startups have this really cool thing called the minimum viable product, which I think is a great way of thinking. So this minimum viable product means that you kind of build something very simple, find people who love it, work with them to build something bigger and better for a bigger and better audience, right? I think that thinking can map to games very, very well. So it used to be that in gaming you would first build an engine, then asset pipeline, then assets, and maybe a game. But nowadays we have all these great tools. So you can build something playable in 5 minutes, show it to people, build something better, show it to more people, and eventually build a great game while keeping it always playable and always fun. So, of course, the core thing of this thinking is that you have to have a user. You have to have someone who gets your idea and loves it. But of course, a user does not a community make, right? Now, having a lot of users is better, but still having a bunch of people who love your thing is still not a community, right? But once you get these people tools to talk to you, give them tools to talk to each other, that's when kind of magic happens. That's when you have a community. That's when you have a thing that's bigger than the sum of its parts, right? Well, that's kind of the thing I'm going to talk about here. So we made a game called The Master Plan. So The Master Plan is a game about stealing shit in the 70s. Tactical, violent, kind of a very nasty game. Not a game that would ever make it to the front page of the App Store. So a game that really needs a strong community to kind of survive, right? And I think there's one cheat to building strong communities, and that's to have a strong creative concept. So have something that kind of resonates with people. So ours would be stealing shit in the 70s. If you hear that phrase, you go like, oh, that sounds awesome, or you go, oh, that sounds dumb. But you usually have an opinion. And I think you need to start with that. And once you have that idea that resonates with people, you need to find the right audience, right? So you could go to MySpace, at least used to, but that doesn't really work for our game. So we figured that for us, the right audience would be at gaming events, right? Because we're hardcore gamers, right? That's the game. So we went to GDC last year. We had a broken prototype, didn't really work at all. We would show it to people and they would say, that's dumb, that's a shitty game. But someone, every now and then would say like, holy shit, I need to play this game, that sounds awesome. They would sit there for half an hour, talk about the game, tell us how they want to make it great. So we worked with those people, we made the game better, and then we went to Steam Greenlight. And Greenlight is a way to have thousands of people say, yes, I would play the game, no, I would not play that game. And we thought it would be a great way to build a community. Actually, no. Like, they all drop off once you're through Greenlight. So next we did Steam Early Access, and I think Early Access is a great way to build a community. But it's also a very, you kind of like, you make promises, you have to commit to them. So you're kind of like tied up with your community. You don't make any big changes once you kind of start doing early access. But I do like to think that we made a better game. So here's someone who bought the game in early access, didn't like it, gave us a thumbs down, played it half a year later, gave us a thumbs up because of all the work we did with the community to make the game better. So I think this process does work. Now, when you start like finding people, like you have to like be active about this. You need to have like Google alerts, you need to have Twitter searches, Reddit searches, you need to find people who talk about your game online, and you need to reach out to them and say, hey, this is my game, let's talk about it. And you need to have a place where you tell people to go. So otherwise you end up with like 20 separate communities. You need to say, hey, if you like my game, go to my Steam page, because that's where the community is. Otherwise you end up with a weak community instead of a very, very strong one. Oh, get a breather, okay. So I think one thing you have to do is set the tone. So whenever you talk to people, you have to understand that you are defining the rules of your community. So we would always be nice. Even if someone would steal our game, we would still say like, hey, great that you're interested, like maybe we should talk more about it, maybe you should buy it. One thing that happens is that people follow your lead, they follow your example, and we quickly got to a point where like our community would actually self-moderate, because we showed people how to treat newcomers. And once you involve people, they actually become your biggest fans. You make them free labor for you, and they actually love you. So, bullet points: strong creative concept, find the right people, engage them, herd your community to one place, set the right tone, manage expectations, and involve people in building the game with you. And I think that's probably pretty much my 5 minutes. You can reach me on Twitter as JIRI. That's my email address. Check out Playfield, the thing we're building to make this better. Thank you very much.